it's the Carrera slot car. Hello, this is BJ from Hearns Hobbies, and I'm going to be looking at a slot car today. It's the Carrera slot car. And remember, if you like the video, please put a like on the bottom of the screen, or if you want to see more of this sort of footage, please subscribe to our channel. But in the meantime, I'm going to be looking at this Carrera slot car. It's a 1/24 scale Evolution. That's a series of cars, and I'm going to have a closer look and explain to you what this can do and how it can work on different systems. So it's a very bright, colourful Audi A8. There you go, from the top camera. Okay, so this is a twin bush sponsored car. I've got the yellow and the metallic blue. Very nice. Bright colours are great for the track because it is a spot. And whether it's radio control or slot cars, it always helps to be bright. Okay, so we're just taking the lid off. We've got these really nice display boxes. You can see the mirror on the back there too. There's a nice touch showroom type of finish. Okay, so I guess with these slot cars, very similar to other slot car systems. On their bases, they are screwed in. So there's this little knurled screw here. We just undo this to release it from the base. And we'll have a closer look at the car itself. Now, slot cars are quite interesting these days. The modern ones tend to have quite specific designs on the chassis. So these particular Le Mans style, I guess you call them, endurance cars, quite broad chassis, fully sealed. You've got your guide here. This one's spring-loaded to self-center. And then these are the contact braids for getting the power to the motor. You can just see the motor here, slotted for cooling. And then these are the screws that you undo just to access the inside for maintenance. Okay, closer look at the actual moulding on the car. Carreras have very crisp details. You can see the mirrors on the sides. And you've got the antenna detail there as well. Quite nice tires and such. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly power it up so you can hear it run. And this particular one doesn't have lights. So quite simple, and it's also an analog type. So you're just using this for a single slot system, which is the traditional style. But it can be upgraded to digital where you can change lanes as well at a later stage. It's just a matter of opening up and putting the chip inside. Okay, so let's just leave this on the side here while I get my controller ready. So I've got this train controller really, which is a 12-volt adjustable controller. All I'm going to do is replicate the power going through the track. So we're just going to clip these positive and negative onto the braid directly. And then just turn the dial. And you'll probably be able to see the wheel at the back starts rotating. So this is how simple slot cars are. I mean, in their rawest form, the analog is like this. You're just getting analog power in. It's got a positive and negative. It's going to the motor, and the motor's spinning. And depending on how much voltage we apply is how fast it goes. Okay, so imagine if you're squeezing the throttle trigger, it's giving more power. So this is just going to speed up. That's full speed. Then we can slow it down as well. So fairly smooth. Right, so there you go there. That's how they basically operate. Now with slot cars, the area that generally gets the most wear would be around your pickups here, because this is the contact to the track. This is rubbing against the metal rails or the contacts in the slot. This is the guide itself that goes into the slot so the car doesn't come off the track. And this particular area here can be quite different for different systems. So on the Carrera, they do have very long guides and they are quite thick. So they're quite strong, but they can be adapted to other tracks as well. The most common question is, can you use these on Scalextrics? And you can. Now, prior, we used to have to get these guides and actually shave them down, which isn't difficult, it just takes time. You just need to make it thinner by filing down both sides and cutting it down a little bit so it can go around curves. But I'll show you a feature that they include now, which makes it much easier. There's a car. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look at, here's the box again. But on the back, there's a really handy little compartment which has, this one has instructions and also some spare parts. So that just slides open. Oh, I'm losing, that's that little knurled nut I had before. Move that out of the way. So we've got a little packet. And within there we've got some paperwork. Okay, so we've got some instructions, your warranty and such. I'm not going to go through every single one of those. Let's pop that over here. But what we do have here is there's a red guide, and this is a guide for using on Scalextric's type track. And we also have a spare Carrera guide, some spare mirrors, because the mirrors can fly off. And then also it's nice to have a couple of spare braids. Okay, so that's the biggest wearing part. You will need those if you use your cars often, because these will start fraying and they'll get shorter and then you won't get the contact. It's easy enough, they just clip in. There's the Carrera type. Let me see if I can zoom in on that. Let's get that focused. Okay, so there's a Carrera type slot. The difference mainly is across here, the thickness. It's thicker than Scalextric's SEX type. And then over here, they're a little bit longer. So longer gives a bit more stability, but it won't travel all the way through all the bends and such because of the narrow slots in Scalextric's or SEX. So they're actually shorter here as well. So if I leave that there, and I'll get this one out and we'll compare directly. It's great that they include these now because they're a direct swap over. And I like it how they do that a hugely different color too, so it's easy to recognize. Okay, so you can see the top part there, that's a clip system. It clips into the center of the chassis. And then you can see how overall it is shorter than the black Carrera one. And then if I hold it like this, you'll be able to see there's a fair bit of difference in the thickness too. Probably talking about 1/2 mil at least. So if you were to shave down one of these Carrera ones, you'd need to shave down 1/4 mil from each side at least, and chop down the edges as well, because if I hold them like this, it's quite noticeable. So a little bit off the front, a little bit off the back. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So there is my little review on Carrera slot cars, this particular one being the Audi R8, and just keep in mind that these work perfectly on Carrera, of course, because they're Carrera cars, but also designed to easily work on other brands of slot cars like Scalextric or SEX. So there you go. So thank you for joining me.